Death has long been considered a topic best kept out of polite conversation. But in a world where 11.5 million people have contracted coronavirus and more than 500,000 have died, questions surrounding mortality are becoming unavoidable. Nancy Chen introduces us to a gathering called Death Cafe, where dying is the only subject.
Say your first name and if you would like to share what brought you to Death Cafe this evening.
From her home in Jacksonville, Florida, Nada Frazier is hosting what's known as a Death Cafe, an opportunity for strangers to freely talk about mortality. The conversations are normally confidential, but this group agreed to let CBS News record a portion.
I've got a little less than 6 months to live.
My husband just died 3 weeks ago. I may not have the death that I want because of COVID.
Dying without friends and family nearby has become common during COVID. And in this Death Cafe, where many of the participants live in hard-hit Florida, it was top of mind. Zach Addison told the group he believes he's contracted coronavirus.
It has raised anxiety. You know, if I were to die, I wouldn't want my spouse to be alone.
My name's Kim.
Death cafes began in the UK and were mostly in-person events with cake and tea. But the pandemic has moved them online, allowing groups to go global. This one had participants from Australia, Canada, and Hungary. Death Cafe's co-founder says interest is growing.
I think it has brought death into people's awareness much more.
Death and grieving expert David Kessler feels Death Cafes give people a chance to share their deepest fears.
It's peer support, where people are talking to one another and supporting each other.
Tyrone Schmidt found Death Cafe after being diagnosed with terminal cancer.
I found it very warm and helpful, just sharing and being really, this is as deep as it gets.
He hopes continuing to share his fears about death will help make the most of the time he has left. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
You can find the schedule for online and in-person Death Cafes at deathcafe.com. Back to school shopping won't look the same this fall. Why the pandemic and school plans have retailers concerned. Next on Valley News Live at 5.